If you take creatine every day, what actually happens inside your body? Most people assume it's only about building muscle or lifting heavier weights at the gym, but creatine's effects go far beyond that. Daily creatine use influences how your body produces energy, how your muscles hold water, how quickly you recover, and even how you feel during normal daily activities. At a cellular level, creatine helps recycle ATP, the main energy source your body uses for movement. This can translate into better endurance, less early fatigue, and more consistent energy throughout the day. Creatine also pulls water into muscle cells, supporting hydration and giving muscles a fuller, more responsive feel. Over time, this can improve workout quality, recovery speed, and tolerance to physical stress. Importantly, these changes don't happen overnight or feel extreme. They build gradually. So let's break down 8 real, science-backed things that happen to your body when you take creatine daily. No hype, no fear, just what you should actually expect. But before we begin, drop your name and the city you're watching from in the comments below. Alright, let's dive into it. Number 1. Your muscles store more energy. Have you ever wondered why everyday tasks start to feel easier after a while? That's one of the most practical effects of creatine that people often overlook. Creatine works by increasing the amount of phosphocreatine stored inside your muscles. This stored form acts like a rapid energy reserve that helps regenerate ATP, the main energy currency your muscle cells rely on for movement. When ATP is replenished more efficiently, your muscles don't run out of energy as quickly. Instead of hitting that sudden wall of fatigue, you're able to sustain effort for longer periods. This benefit isn't limited to intense workouts or heavy lifting. It shows up in simple, real-world activities. Climbing stairs without needing to pause, carrying groceries with less strain, standing for longer periods, or walking at a steady pace without feeling drained. Over time, this improved energy availability can subtly change how your body responds to physical effort. Movements feel smoother, less forced, and more controlled. You may also notice that recovery between bouts of activity is faster, meaning short breaks are enough to feel ready again. Importantly, this doesn't feel like a sudden burst of artificial energy. It's more of a steady support system working in the background. For many people, this is why creatine becomes noticeable even outside the gym. By helping muscles store and reuse energy more effectively, creatine makes daily movement feel more manageable and less tiring, which can encourage you to stay active and move more throughout the day. Number 2, your muscles become more hydrated. This is one of the first changes many people notice after taking creatine consistently, and it often happens sooner than expected. Creatine draws water into muscle cells, increasing what's called intracellular hydration. Instead of water sitting under the skin or causing bloating, it's stored inside the muscle fibers themselves, where it actually serves a purpose. Well-hydrated muscles tend to function better. They contract more efficiently, feel less tight during a movement, and are often less prone to that stiff, achy sensation after activity. This improved hydration also supports recovery because cells with adequate water can transport nutrients more effectively and clear out waste products faster. As a result, soreness may feel milder, and your muscles may feel ready to move again sooner. This cellular hydration is also why the number on the scale may increase slightly when you start creatine. That weight gain often worries people at first, but it's important to understand what's happening. The extra weight comes from water stored inside the muscles, not from fat gain. In fact, many people report that their muscles feel firmer and more full, even if their body fat hasn't changed at all. Another overlooked benefit is comfort during daily movement. Hydrated muscles tend to glide more smoothly through ranges of motion, which can make walking, bending, or lifting feel easier. Rather than being a cosmetic effect, muscle hydration is a functional advantage that supports strength, recovery, and overall movement quality throughout the day. Number 3, strength and performance slowly increase. This isn't an overnight transformation, and that's actually a good thing. Creatine works gradually, building up inside your muscle cells when taken consistently day after day. There's no sudden surge of strength or dramatic jump in performance after a single dose. Instead, the changes show up quietly through steady progress that feels natural and sustainable. As creatine levels increase in your muscles, your body becomes better at regenerating ATP, the fuel your muscles rely on during effort. After about 1 to 3 weeks of daily use, many people begin to notice subtle but meaningful improvements. You might lift slightly heavier weights, perform a few more repetitions than usual, or maintain your pace longer before fatigue sets in. Even outside the gym, tasks that once felt tiring may start to feel more manageable. Endurance often improves alongside strength. Muscles recover faster between efforts, allowing you to repeat movements with less rest. This doesn't mean you'll suddenly feel unstoppable, but workouts may feel more productive and less draining. Over time, these small advantages compound, leading to noticeable gains. Consistency is what makes all the difference. Creatine needs to stay saturated in your muscles to be effective. Skipping days regularly can cause those levels to drop, and when that happens, the benefits slowly fade. Taken daily, however, creatine supports gradual, reliable improvements that reward patience rather than hype. Number 4. Recovery between activities improves. One of the most underrated effects of creatine is how it supports recovery not just after workouts, but between everyday physical activities. Many people focus on strength or performance, yet recovery is what actually allows your body to keep moving consistently. When recovery improves, soreness doesn't linger as long, and your muscles feel more prepared for the next challenge. Creatine helps replenish energy stores inside muscle cells and supports cellular repair after physical effort. This means muscles can return to a ready state more quickly, whether you've just finished a workout, gone for a long walk, or spent the day on your feet. Instead of feeling stiff or drained the next day, your body often feels more capable of repeating the same activities with less discomfort. Reduced muscle soreness can have a big ripple effect. When your body doesn't feel constantly beaten up, you're more likely to stay active rather than avoid movement. That might mean exercising more regularly, walking more often, or simply being more physically engaged throughout the day. Over time, this consistency matters far more than occasional intense effort. Better recovery also improves confidence in movement. You stop worrying as much about how sore you'll feel tomorrow, which makes it easier to maintain healthy routines. Creatine doesn't eliminate soreness completely, but by shortening recovery time, it helps you keep moving, and regular movement is where most long-term health benefits truly come from. Number 5, your body's water needs increase. This is where a lot of people make mistakes and end up blaming creatine for problems it didn't cause. Because creatine pulls water into your muscle cells, your body's overall demand for fluids naturally increases. That extra water inside the muscles is beneficial, but it has to come from somewhere. If you don't replace it by drinking enough fluids throughout the day, you may start to feel off. Common signs of low hydration while using creatine include headaches, muscle cramps, dizziness, or unusual fatigue. When these show up, people often assume creatine is dehydrating them. In reality, creatine isn't the problem. Inadequate hydration is. Creatine simply changes where water is stored in your body, and if fluid intake doesn't keep up, other systems feel the shortage. Proper hydration helps maintain blood volume, supports circulation, and keeps muscles functioning smoothly. When you drink enough water, creatine's effects feel supportive rather than uncomfortable. Muscles stay hydrated, energy levels remain steadier, and recovery improves instead of suffering. The key is consistency. Don't wait until you feel thirsty to drink water, especially if you're active. Spread fluid intake across the day and pay attention to how your body feels. When hydration is handled properly, creatine becomes easier to tolerate and more effective. Most side effects people experience disappear once water intake matches the body's increased needs. Number 6. The scale might go up. Don't panic when this happens, because it's one of the most common and misunderstood reactions to daily creatine use. Many people step on the scale a week or two after starting creatine and see the number creep up. Instantly, they assume they're gaining fat, or that something is going wrong. In reality, this small increase is almost always water being stored inside your muscle cells. Creatine pulls water into muscles to support energy production and performance. That added water has weight, and the scale reflects it. This isn't fat gain, and it isn't a setback. It's a normal, expected part of how creatine works. In fact, that extra intracellular water helps muscles contract more effectively, recover faster, and feel stronger during activity. The mistake happens when people judge progress using only the scale. They ignore other signs that actually matter more, such as improved strength, better endurance, quicker recovery, or how their body feels during movement. Some people even quit creatine at this stage, thinking they're undoing their hard work when the supplement is doing exactly what it's supposed to do. A better way to assess progress is to pay attention to performance, how your clothes fit, and how you feel day to day. The scale can fluctuate for many reasons, especially when hydration changes. A slight increase doesn't mean failure, it means adaptation. Understanding this helps you stay consistent long enough to experience the real benefits of creatine without unnecessary stress or doubt. Number 7. Blood test markers can change. This one catches a lot of people off guard, especially the first time they get routine blood work done while taking creatine. Creatine supplementation naturally leads to an increase in creatinine, a waste product that doctors commonly use as a marker to assess kidney function. Seeing higher creatinine levels on a lab report can be alarming if you're not expecting it, and even more confusing if no one explains why it's happening. Here's the important distinction. An increase in creatinine from creatine supplementation does not automatically mean kidney damage in healthy individuals. Creatinine is simply a byproduct of creatine metabolism. When you have more creatine available in your system, it's normal for creatinine levels to rise slightly. This is a known and well-documented effect. The real issue is context. If your doctor doesn't know you're supplementing with creatine, those lab results can look concerning on paper and lead to unnecessary worry or follow-up testing. That's why transparency matters. Always tell your healthcare provider what supplements you're taking, how much, and how often. Clear communication allows test results to be interpreted correctly. It helps your doctor distinguish between normal supplementation-related changes and true health issues. When handled properly, this becomes a non-issue. Just another example of why understanding how creatine works prevents confusion and unnecessary fear. Number 8. Results depend on your lifestyle. This is the most important point to understand about creatine, and it's where expectations often go wrong. Creatine is powerful, but it doesn't work in isolation. Its benefits are amplified when it's paired with regular movement, decent sleep, and basic nutrition. Without those foundations, creatine has very little to work with. Creatine supports how your muscles produce energy and recover from effort. That means it needs effort to support. Walking, light resistance training, body weight exercises, or even consistent daily activity give creatine a reason to do its job. When movement is missing, the benefits feel minimal, which leads people to think creatine isn't working. Sleep plays a role too. Recovery, muscle repair, and energy regulation all depend on adequate rest. Poor sleep blunts the effects of creatine no matter how consistent your dose is. Nutrition matters in the same way. Your body needs enough protein, calories, and fluids to use creatine effectively. Without fuel, performance and recovery stall. The mistake is expecting creatine to be a shortcut. It won't replace exercise, override bad sleep, or compensate for poor eating habits. Instead, think of it as a support tool that makes good habits more effective. When your lifestyle is aligned, creatine enhances strength, endurance, and recovery in a way that feels natural and sustainable. So, what really happens when you take creatine daily? Your body becomes better at producing energy, muscles stay more hydrated, recovery improves, and physical tasks often feel easier. But hydration, patience, and consistency make all the difference. Now I want to hear from you. Are you taking creatine daily or thinking about starting? Did any of these effects surprise you? And if you want a follow-up video on dosage, side effects, or how to take creatine safely after 40 or 50, hit like, subscribe, and let me know in the comments. I'll see you in the next video.